The most dangerous thing you can do with a small wheel strategy account is copy the same strategy as someone with a large wheel strategy account. A trader running $100,000 can absorb a bad assignment on a volatile tech stock. The position is 10% of their account. The covered call phase grinds it down. Life goes on for them. That same assignment in a $5,000 account represents 60 to 80% of your total capital. The covered call premiums on a declining $25 stock are $40 or $50 per month. At that rate, you're grinding out of a 20% hole for the next 4 to 6 months with almost nothing left to deploy anywhere else. The account is effectively frozen. One bad choice and the entire strategy stalls out on you. This is the $500 mistake, and it happens because small accounts get handed advice designed for big ones. Here's what makes small accounts really structurally different from large ones, especially when it comes to running the options trading or the wheel strategy. Diversification requires capital. A $100,000 wheel strategy account can fund 5 or 8 positions simultaneously. Different sectors, different stocks, different expiration cycles. If one position gets assigned and stays assigned for, let's say, 2 months, the other positions, they continue generating income while it recovers. The bad assignment is it's isolated. A $5,000 account typically supports one position at a time, maybe 2 if the underlying prices are actually low enough. If that one position gets assigned in a volatile stock and the shares drops another 20%, there are no other positions generating premium to offset the damage. The entire income engine goes offline until the covered call phase works through that assignment. This concentration problem means that small account traders face a version of sequence risk that large account traders literally, they rarely even encounter. In a large account, right, position level bad outcomes, they're manageable. In a small account, a single bad position is an account level event. The standard content around small accounts, especially for trading the wheel strategy, doesn't address this because it's mostly built around position mechanics, how to pick strikes, how to roll, when to close early. And that's all relevant, but none of it matters if you pick the wrong underlying in the first place, okay? Here's the framework I use for a small account, and it really flips the usual priority order, right? Because most traders, they prioritize premium first, which stocks give me the best income for my collateral. The answer is almost always the most volatile stock available for your account size. High IV equals high premium, and high premium in a small account looks very, very attractive. $150 on $2,000 position is 7.5% for the cycle. In a large account, chasing premium on a volatile name is a calculated risk. In a small account, it's an account-threatening decision waiting for the right bad week, okay? Here's the framework that I'd apply instead. Start with how much of your account can you afford to have frozen for 3 to 4 months. If the answer is not much, every position you enter needs to have a realistic recovery path that doesn't require the stock to bounce sharply. That filters out volatile tech names immediately and points you towards boring, low beta businesses, ones that move slowly, have defined trading ranges, and whose assignment scenarios are actually genuinely manageable, especially on a tight income budget. Now, if you want my 15 favorite wheel strategy stocks that are all under $30, plus my 2 income calculators and my full trade log template, make sure to attend the Ark Options Strategy workshop down below. It's about 90 minutes of training, and it walks through a lot more detail of what we're talking about in today's video, and I give you those incredible free gifts just for attending. You'll see that link as the first one in the description. The boring stock that generates 1.5 per cycle is the right answer, though, for a small account. The exciting stock that generates 5% per cycle with the potential to strand your entire account on a bad week is the wrong answer, no matter how good the numbers and the premiums look like. But we got to talk about why volatile tech names are small account killers here, because let's look back at what actually happens when a small account runs a cash secured put on a high beta tech name, okay? Let's say the stock is at $30, IV is elevated maybe 55% because it's a growth company with upcoming catalysts and a history of large moves. The 30 delta put at 25 generates $120 in premium. On $2,500 in collateral, that's almost 5% for 30 days. That math, that looks nice, right? Then earnings come out, guidance gets cut, the stock drops to $19, assignment happens at 25. Now you own 100 shares of a $19 stock with a $25 cost basis. The covered call at 22 if you're willing to sell below cost, generates $60 of premium per month. It takes over 10 months of a perfect covered call execution just to break even on that one assignment. Your entire $2,500 is deployed in a position generating $60 per month, and you can't do anything else with the account until that gets fixed. The IV that created the attractive premium was telling you exactly how risky the stock was. The market was right. The small account holder paid to learn the lesson. I know it's happened to me. But let's talk about what low beta names actually look like for small accounts, because the category that works in a small account is the opposite of the above, right? Stable, cash flowing businesses that don't make 20% moves in a week, right? Consumer staple companies trading in the $20 to $35 range, established utilities, regional banks with your clean balance sheets, dividend payers that have been grinding out consistent earnings for years and years. These stocks, they of course have lower IV, maybe 18 to 22%, which means way lower premium per cycle. The 30 Delta put might generate only $65 instead of $120. That's a smaller income event, but here's what matters. If you get assigned on a utility stock at $28 and it dips to $25, you're dealing with a 10% hold, not 37%. The covered call at 27 generates maybe $50 a month. You're recovered in 5 to 6 months. The account wasn't frozen. It was just less active for a few cycles. The premium difference between the two scenarios is roughly $55 a cycle. The assignment difference is the difference between a manageable situation and an account that's effectively locked for nearly an entire year. But I want to give you my beta ceiling rule, right? And it's a practical rule for small accounts and doing stock selection. And I want to limit stocks, right, with a beta below 1, ideally below 0.8. Beta pretty much measures how much a stock moves relative to the overall market. A beta of 1 means a stock moves roughly in line with the S&P 500. A beta at 0.7 means it moves 70% as much. A beta of 1.8 moves 80% more. Every assignment scenario on a high beta stock is more severe than the same scenario on a low beta stock, obviously. In a large diversified account, high beta positions are balanced by lower beta ones. In a small account where one position represents most of your capital, a high beta assignment is an account level event, okay? A $25 stock with a beta of 0.65 is not exciting. It's appropriate though for the capital available. Small accounts need to be more conservative than large accounts in my opinion, not less. This is counterintuitive. Most people assume that limited capital means they need to take bigger swings to grow faster, right? The math of the wheel says the opposite though. In a wheel account, the path to growth is surviving bad assignments cleanly, staying active through multiple cycles per year, and compounding premium without catastrophic interruptions. One big volatile assignment that freezes the account for 6 months sets you back more than a year of conservative cycles that gained you, okay? The boring stock that generates 1.5% per cycle consistently for 12 months is worth more to a small account than the exciting stock that generates 5% per cycle for 3 months and then freezes the account for 6. The boring one produces more total premium, keeps your capital working, and builds the account over time. The exciting ones destroy the compounding effect every time, especially when it goes wrong. The risk tolerance in the wheel should go up as the account grows and diversification becomes possible, not before. And so here's how I personally think about this, especially for newer traders. When I talk to someone who's just starting the wheel, let's say 3 to 5 grand, the first conversation is always about the worst outcome, right? Not the best return. What happens if your first position gets assigned and the stock drops 20% before you sell your first covered call? Can you manage that position for 4 months on $50 of monthly premium? Is there capital left to do anything else while you wait for that recovery? If the answer to any of those is uncomfortable, the stock being considered is the wrong stock. The right stock is the one where even the worst realistic assignment scenario produces a manageable outcome. Not an exciting one, not a fast one, but a manageable one, okay? The account grows when nothing catastrophic happens, not when something exciting does. We are not day traders. So I got a couple questions for you guys as always for the comments. Number 1, when you started running the wheel strategy, did you start with conservative low beta names or did you chase the higher premium on more volatile stocks? And number 2, if you've been assigned on a volatile name in a small account, How long did it actually take for you to work through it to sell covered calls and get into free your capital up again? I think that would genuinely help a lot of people, and especially new people getting into the wheel strategy. And if you are a new person, right, attend the Ark Options Strategy Workshop. It's about 90 minutes of training. I break everything down in easy to understand English for you. Plus, you'll get my 15 favorite stocks, all under $30 to run the wheel strategy on. You'll get my 2 income calculators as well as my full trade lock template. You'll see that as the first link in the description of today's video, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.